How's it going, everybody? And welcome back to the Hall of Film YouTube channel. And today we are recapping the Oscars and talking about it and reacting to all of the things that happened and just have a general discussion. Now, of course, I am not alone. I am joined by multi-time guest of the channel, the Question Queen, the best person to have a discussion about films with, Heather Stewart. Heather, thank you for coming on.
Of course. Always happy to be here. Hi, Morgan.
Um, well, the first thing I'll ask you was, because I know you did predictions.
I
How
did.
how did you do out of
Oh,
the
I got
24?
20 out of 24.
I got
Yes.
19 out of 24.
Yeah. Yeah.
I went with my heart on Sinners for Best Picture, and I feel stupid
Uh,
because I shouldn't have.
yeah. I, yeah, the one that annoys me most, I think, was the documentary feature because I sat there with my fellow Revisionist Almanac team member, Amanda, and we were discussing it and we were going back and forth and saying, oh, it's probably gonna be Miss Nobi against Putin because it's got the BAFTA win and it's got the industry, and Perfect Neighbor just doesn't feel very strong. Come on, like everybody's seen it, and
Yeah,
it was on Netflix, and it is although it's an American story, it's still something that we here internationally, can kind of not relate to, but we understand,
we
and
get it. Yeah,
and that we understand American gun laws and their
yes,
weird laws that they have. So, um, yeah, but I was still like, oh, I had 3 question marks at 3 that I'd locked in. I was like, I reserve the right to change these last minute. But then it's like, do you change last minute? Because you get really annoyed if you change and then what you originally
yes.
had is
I
right.
always just set with what I've written because if I change it
Yeah,
and I'm wrong, yeah, like I was quite happy I got cinematography wrong. I was really
I
happy
was
I got.
delighted about that.
I've never been
Yeah, but
happier to
we should
get.
talk.
Yeah,
Yeah, we should give that as when we
yeah.
go through like highlights and stuff, give that like the proper space it deserves. But
Of course.
yeah,
I
the
mean,
so I got doc feature wrong.
I
I
also got
got
that wrong.
casting and cinematography wrong. The
I
switch.
I
Uh,
got. I think I got casting wrong as well because I also went
mm,
for Sinners. And
yeah.
then obviously I went for One Battle cinematography. I was like, that car chase alone, they're gonna give it to it.
Yeah, and it had won everything. Well, not everything, but it had won all the industry like
Well, it
precursors.
was like the casting at the other award show.
Yeah,
Sinners got that, so
exactly.
that's why I was like, oh, Sinners, he's got this, and then nope, One Battle.
And I got one of the animated
I
short,
also
which was
got that.
another one which I
I
locked in super late, but
I
I was
went for
like,
the
oh,
retirement plan.
yeah, same.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I saw it was betting favourite. I was like, I'm throwing a
Was it?
dart.
I have no
Yeah,
idea.
yeah.
It just decided that I was just gonna go with the one that I like best in the
If
end,
if
which
I
is
don't,
really bad idea, but yeah.
it was funny because of when they showed like the little clippets, the one that won, I was like, that's the one I'd vote for, just given an instant reaction of, oh wow, that looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it
So
was. Yeah, it's mean you either like that style or you
yeah,
don't, I think.
yeah.
A lot of people did say it was very ugly and they just don't like that stop
I
motion or
thought
the
it was
kind
kind of
of
Tim
puppetry
Burton.
aspect, but
Yeah,
hmm?
I thought it was quite like Tim Burton
Yes, it
inspired
was.
kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought Butterfly was the favorite, but I
Yes,
didn't put that in because I just didn't really like it.
fair.
So, yeah, not really though, because if it's the favorite, but it didn't win in the end anyway, so it doesn't
Yes,
matter.
true.
But, yeah, annoyingly, that was the one difference between, me and my brother, so I actually lost for, like, the first time in many years. We've been doing this for, like, 20 years.
It's okay to
Can
lose
count
one.
on one hand the number of times he's won, so,
That's
fair enough.
fine. That's fine.
He's
Yeah.
allowed to win, occasionally. But, yeah, no, we went with everything the same apart from it always comes down to the shots, doesn't it?
Yes.
But,
Yeah.
yeah, but,
What was your
yeah, no, I'm annoyed about the doc feature. I should just have changed that one, but,
yeah? What was your overall thoughts of the whole show and the winners?
yeah, good. I appreciated the start time being at midnight rather than
Oh,
2 AM, for example.
it was 11 here, so even
Yeah,
better. Oh, it's
yeah,
beautiful. They
yeah.
still went over, of course, but it
Yeah,
wasn't. Yeah, it
yeah.
wasn't as bad on my
We
body as last year.
we benefited from 2 things, like, obviously, they changed the time of it, which they'd done last year as well, but the fact that the Americans are in daylight saving and we're not yet means that we're 1 hour closer in time for another,
Yes,
like, couple of weeks. So, yeah, the time
It fell
difference to
perfect.
LA was only 8 hours, which made it midnight here, which was
It was
great.
lovely. It was great.
Mm,
Of course, we started off with a absolute fantastic opening with Conan
yes.
as Aunt
Wonderful.
Gladys. It was
I knew it would be something like
it.
that.
What I appreciated, they put budget into it and they actually put effort
Yeah,
into it, and I was like,
yeah,
"Oh, okay, yeah."
yeah, they
I was
inserted him properly into these
yeah,
scenes,
like they didn't half-arse it like they could have. They went, "No, we're going to do this properly," and I
yeah,
appreciated it.
and he
Um,
spoke another language.
yes,
Yeah,
he did.
spoke
Yeah.
Norwegian, yeah.
Um,
Um,
what was
yeah,
your
that was good.
overall thoughts of
Mm,
his hosting? Because I know,
yeah, no,
like, the
I
sketches are always one of those. It's very SNL, and that's not kind of my vibe a lot of the time.
yeah, I mean, some of it I think kinda went over my head a bit, but I liked his opening monologue. I thought that was
It was
very
great.
good. There was a few jokes that he made that I found didn't quite hit the audience, or they didn't want to acknowledge that they'd
Yes.
understood it.
Yeah.
Like, not that he was being risque or anything, I
He
think he
wasn't
played it
he
quite safe,
he wasn't
but there was
being
still
Ricky
a
Gervais.
couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
mean, no, he's not, no, he's never gonna be Ricky Gervais. I think
No.
he's a perfect mix of he can make those jokes, but you can tell he still really loves the
Professional. Yeah.
films
Yeah.
and, reveres these people, but doesn't take it too seriously. So, yeah, I mean, of course, there was the ballet and the opera thing, which was to be expected, but he was almost apologetic about it, like by saying, "Oh, they're just annoyed that you didn't say jazz as well." So
It
something like
he
that.
he played it really
But
well. He
yeah,
really
and
did
then
do it well.
the Leo meme was good, and
I feel like we always get a Leo meme.
yeah, well, I mean, that's why he did it, because he says, "We always get a Leo meme. We need a new one, Leo. Let's do it now."
Also, growing the
Um,
mustache, he just looked like
he
Wagnamora did
looked
in
great.
Narcos. Yep. He was giving
Uh,
Wagnamora in Narcos.
yeah, he was, yeah,
He's
he swapped mustaches with, Pedro
Pedro.
Pascal, who turned up clean
Ah,
shaven.
that I've
Not
never
the best look.
I audibly screamed out loud. I went, "Oh my god." I was like,
What's it who is this person? Yeah. No, I thought that was good. So I thought his opening was good. I was safe. I can't remember what last year's was. I felt last year's was maybe better, but I can't remember much of it. So, I very rarely do remember,
yeah,
really. There's just a few things which either remember the things that you know, didn't like,
yes,
or the things that you remember just not landing, or the things that were awkward, or the things that actually were really, really good. So there's nothing, so that's just the general vibe was, I feel there was more that I liked last year. But he did play it very safe. I mean, it's a
it
it's
was
it's a tricky
safe.
one,
He
isn't it?
got
Well,
us
what do you
from
expect him to do?
he got us
Yeah,
from A to B, and
yeah.
nobody got annoyed or offended, and
No.
that's all we can ask for. Because usually someone says some dumb shit, and it's like, okay, great, now you've just killed the vibe everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, there was parts of that where, the depending on, it could have easily gone wrong, because you had in memoriam, then you had cutting of speeches, and then you had like a lot of really weird things that seemed to happen at the same time, but it had the right people, there. They had Conan, and then we'll come to the tie in the shorts. I mean, that was perfect.
Yes,
Like, that was handled so, so well. And anybody else, I just think maybe might not have handled. I mean, thank goodness um, that, yeah, I don't know, it wasn't somebody awkward presenting it,
yes.
who's, only can work off the Telecaster. I mean, so
I,
yeah.
I, I was very annoyed we didn't get an Al Pacino presentation, because I loved last year when he did it and he went, "Wow," and then just said the name, and it was like, that's perfect.
The Oppenheimer, yeah, with my
Yeah,
eyes see Oppenheimer, and then everybody's like, "What's he doing? Why is this weird?" Like,
it's Al. It's
yeah,
just yeah,
yeah, and it was more like Nicole Kidman being quite breathless and saying, one battle after another. No,
yeah,
yeah, it was fine. I thought Meg Ryan's "Oh, Honora" was a bit silly last year's, because it sounded like a
yeah.
surprise, or disappointing. She went, "Oh,
I,
Honora," but the reason she
she,
said "oh" was because she thought that, who was she presenting it with? Was it Billy Crystal? I can't remember, but she
I
said,
think it might
like,
have been.
yeah, and she didn't realize she was the one that was supposed to say the name, so he handed it, and she was like, "Oh,"
Oh,
and she went, "Oh."
Honora.
Oh, Honora, but it sounds more like she's saying, "Oh, Honora."
Yeah,
Ew.
yeah. Um, I
But,
think
yeah, no, Nicole Kidman did it well.
I
Yeah.
think considering how excited everybody was for the race, it ended up being predictable, went how we wanted, but not in a bad way. It
No, it was fine. Yeah,
it
it's good.
some people want to be annoyed because it wasn't, unpredictable, but it went to the right people, and being, predictable is sometimes good, and this is a good case of it.
Yeah.
It went where it should have gone. Nobody got a ridiculous win.
Well, exactly. I mean,
Yeah,
think of unpredictable races where something like Crash wins. So,
exactly. No one wants
sorry.
a
I mean,
crash.
it was predictable. Nobody was expecting that. So you're like, "Ooh, a surprise winner," and then it's something like Crash or Green
Yes.
Book, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
So,
Usually
the
when
fact
we get a shock, it's not good,
exactly.
and
I
that's why
mean,
it's a shock. Or the
yeah,
only shock I'd say was Sinners getting cinematography, which was awesome.
which was great.
Yes.
And the other big surprise I think was the casting, which to me then set it was almost like the editing last year for Anora where you were like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. That's I was talking to my friend, the whole time, and I went, "Oh, okay." 'Cause when that changed, I went, "Oh, this isn't gonna be a race at the end," and it wasn't, which is fine. But the films that got awarded the most were the 2 best films
Yeah,
of the year, in my opinion anyway, so it
exactly.
went exactly how it should have.
Exactly. And, between the 2 of them, 10 awards, and then the crafts for Frankenstein, I think is also absolutely fine.
Frankenstein won the technical, which it deserved
Yeah,
wholeheartedly.
yeah. I mean, there's a few of these I remember saying to Amanda, there's a few where we thought if it's if they're really going hard for Sinners or One Battle, there could be some tech places where if they're down balloting, just like the one film the whole way through, that Sinners or One Battle might pick up something that
Yes.
extra, or they might steal something from Frankenstein. But it didn't happen. But it
Yeah.
could have happened.
Yeah, it
There
could
was
have.
like, I think Sinners was probably number two in, yeah, possibly every single one
Yeah.
of the categories it was nominated in.
And
Like,
then One Battle
so
was number 2 probably in all the ones that
yeah,
Sinners won.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Um, it was there any, shocks for you or not really? Like, even with the ones we just mentioned, I don't think it was like, "Oh my god, they won." It
no,
was
because it
more
was the
so,
number
"Oh,
two, I
cool."
think.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
yeah. I mean, I think with the casting, everybody had been predicting Sinners, but why? Just because it had been winning the ensembles and the, other stuff that are kind of adjacent. This is the first time that we've had this actual casting category in the Oscars. So we don't know what the
Exa
criteria
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
So at the end of the day, it sounds like they went, I mean, we'll have to see how it develops over the next, say, 5 years
That's
to
gonna
see
be
if
the
it
case.
ends up being something that really gives a
An
indication
indication,
of
yeah.
where big picture, the best picture is going to go. Because I think you can make a case either way. Yes, One Battle ended up being best picture winner, but also every single one of the five that was in the casting category, I understand why they were there.
Yes.
Just because people were like, "Oh, Sinners," they've got such a large ensemble, they cast so many different people. Yes, but One Battle also didn't have a small ensemble, and also they found Chase Infinity. Okay, Sinners found Miles Caton, fine. They also had just really like the guy who was one of the army officers, doing the interrogation. He's actually his job in like real life. I was like, oh, this guy is so realistic. And they're like, yeah, because that's literally his job. So he doesn't really need to act. But then how do you just find all these people, or the casting of Willa's friends,
Yes.
or just you've got people that nobody's ever seen before and have never
I get
acted before. I mean,
I
it's great.
feel it was 1A and 1B. You could
Yeah.
kinda go
Yeah.
either or, and
Yeah.
nobody's
Yeah.
gonna moan. Yeah.
And with cinematography, that was a surprise. That was probably the biggest surprise, actually, more than casting, because so Autumn had won she'd won all the critics' prizes. But then when the industry weighed in, and specifically the people working in that field, so all the DPs, they were quite critical.
Yes.
They were like, well, this is too dark.
Everybody was saying dark, and it was like,
It's too
okay.
dark. It's not well lit. But I think Autumn, I mean, I was ultimately very surprised because BAFTA, BSC, and ASC all went to One Battle. CCA had gone to Train Dreams, which it was the one thing that I came out
That
of the
that
film
would have
saying,
been the
"Didn't
one
like the
I
film,
that would have been
cinematography,
the one
amazing."
I would have loved for it to get, but
Hmm,
yeah.
yeah. But on the other hand, and now we're going into this, like, topic, we might as well just get it there, we're talking about it. I think it's the one category win that I actually screamed at this year. Like, so I punched the air, I screamed because I was so happy because she's been out there. If you remember all when Sinners came out and Ryan Coogler and was out there giving interviews and talking about the process and everything, and she was out there with them. When do you
Yes.
do that with a cinematographer? Unless they're like Roger Deakins or something. Like, I mean, when is somebody given such a profile to talk about what they're doing? I mean, I think we all know that Christopher Nolan, obviously, he's got his trusted cinematographers and that he works with IMAX, but it's still mainly Christopher Nolan out there
Yes.
talking about it, or Denis Villeneuve or whatever. They are the ones talking. They're the face um, of these technical elements, I think. But it was, Ryan was taking Autumn with him to the interview. She was out there. She was on magazine covers.
Yes.
And that must have helped. And did people have that history in the back of the mind? I know when I was saying this months ago and I was saying, oh my God, it would be amazing. And everybody's like, going, yeah, but Heather, people don't think like that. The Oscars don't think like that. The Academy do not think, hey, we have a chance to make history. She should be awarded for her work. And if her work is good enough, she should win. And I'm like, well, okay, but that doesn't also always work. So it's not,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm just delighted. I'm like, I don't even care. Yes, won battle. He won enough awards. This guy also
Yeah.
got, he got enough industry
I
awards.
I I
She got
also
up there and
think
she made history.
I also
And
think with One Battle, when anybody talks about the cinematography, they are only talking about the car chase scene. They're not talking about, like, I don't feel people bring up other bits of the movie. Whereas
yeah,
Sinners, there are quite a lot that
nah,
I
I
think get
think they
brought up.
mainly talk about the juke joint. I
Yes, of
think it's that
course.
scene.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think two of them, they have that scene. Whereas Train Dreams, the whole
The
thing just
whole
looks
the whole
gorgeous.
film is the scene.
Yeah, and there is that last scene with him in the plane and stuff with and everything. But I did see something in Twitter though that or was it Instagram? Someone said if the one thing that you can say about Train Dreams is that you like the cinematography, that doesn't say very much about the film. And I thought, oh, I feel seen.
But, yeah,
But no,
with
I'm
Autumn,
delighted. And
yeah,
she got up there, and Ryan went and got her son, and it was amazing. And she got all the women to stand up in the room with her, and she paid tribute to the two women or something who've been nominated before in
yeah,
that category. Ridiculous.
yeah. It's took
And
98 years for a woman to win
yeah,
cinematography and a woman
yeah,
of color as well, so
yeah, woman of
double history.
color. She's from the Philippines. She's half Filipino, so we're ticking lots of boxes here. But without being cynical about it, but
I said
I'm just
to
delighted. I'm
I
just
said
so
yeah.
happy.
I said to
And
my mum, actually, the thing I've loved about this whole thing with Sinners, this whole award season, you can tell it's a family. Like, everybody who works on that film, Ryan Coogler has give their props to. Every single person, and you don't get that a lot of the time with the directors because 'cause they're like, "Oh, no, I did this. This is my craft and masterpiece," and it's like, it's not just a director that runs a film, it's a whole bunch of people, and Ryan's great at giving them the flowers, and it's just awesome.
it's incredible. And you saw that just the way they were celebrating the wins. I don't know if you like noticed the moment that Autumn's name was called and Ryan is upstanding and punching
Yes.
the air. And he's the first person that they all go to. And then and then or also when Autumn got up, I don't know if you also noticed, she went, she does, hugged her cast and everything. And she hugged Michael B. Jordan's mom. And it's like, okay, so of course we know that he takes her
Yes.
everywhere to the
Which is
awards
the
and stuff
best
like that.
thing.
And she's
Yeah.
probably very present and he's clearly, mum's boy, which is lovely. And then, but the fact that she gave her, rather than just the
Go, "Oh,
cast
yeah,
and
thanks,
the
yeah,
crew,
yeah."
she went past Michael and also gave his mum a hug. So, you know, yeah, it's lovely. And they released the rap videos after the Oscars and just like Ryan and Michael B. Jordan and like their final speeches to everybody and just like after they wrapped the film. Yeah, and I think Russ Ryan is just, and you saw that as well when he got his own Oscar. Like the room erupted and stood up, and there was, they was a standing ovation for PTA when he won a screenplay, but it was more respect, and for
Yes.
Ryan, it was real passion.
Yeah. I was
And
gonna say,
I think he just generally seems to be this liked
I was
guy
gonna
who
say,
gives credit where it's due.
I think he's just like kind of an actor's dream, a cinematographer's dream, a scorer's dream, because he gives you he just goes, "Hey, this is your area. I'm not getting involved. Like, you do your work, I'll do mine, and it'll be great." And I think that's why, like, you'll probably see now, like the ensemble casts he'll be able to make because everybody will be queuing up to work with him, and it's going to be awesome. Um, I mean, there was a lot of history made on this Oscars. Warner Brothers were nominated 30 times, which tied their own record from 2005. They won 11, which is tying also for the most wins by a studio in a year. Warner Brothers having a good year. Well, I've had a great year. And Netflix was the second most nominated and winningest one, which is huge for them because, well,
How did Paramount do?
exactly. That was my first. As soon as I saw that history bit for Warner Brothers, I was like, "Really?
Mm.
It's all going to go down the pan now." So that's going to be fun.
Oh.
Amy Madigan has now got the record for an actress for the longest gap between nominations, which was 40 years. Which is, I mean, it's kind of it's a record she'll want because she got the win after a 40-year wait, rather than a win and then a nomination. You're like, okay. Um, You also then got Ruth E. Carter's the most nominated black woman in any category with now 5 nominations for costume design. You also have then with 9 nominations for Best Picture, Dee Dee Garner is the most nominated female producer in Oscars history. She overtook Kathleen Kennedy's record because they were tied. And then obviously we also had a thing that I'll be honest, I didn't even know could happen. We got a joint win, as you mentioned
Mm.
earlier, which was brilliant because how it was announced was perfect. Because if you'd have had like a comedian or a comedic actor announcing that, people would have thought it'd be a joke and it might have been one of the most awkward
Well,
things.
yeah, you mean you had the perfect, like, yeah, combination because he does stand up
Yeah,
and
but
everything,
he
but
doesn't come across as a
he's
guy who's going to do that kind of joke and like
no,
make get your
no.
hopes up, and then you go, "Oh my god."
Yeah, and he did say afterwards that they hadn't told him because he just did it so perfectly, it was so professional, and you're like, "Oh, maybe they tell them in the event that this happens, this is what you do," and he said no, he just made that decision on the fly to, and I think that was the right decision because that way each of them got their own applause.
Yes.
There was still that degree of suspense.
Yeah.
What's the
'Cause
second
I
one
was
gonna
gonna say,
be?
because after the first is announced, you're all like, "Oh my god, we might get an
Which
Oscar."
is the second one? Yeah, I know. Um, and then so they came up and they did the speech, and then he announced the second one, and I just loved this little ad lib in the bit where he said, "Isn't it ironic? Like the shorts is taking the longest."
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect, perfect. Yeah,
It was
and
great.
you just need the right person to do that. So they got really lucky
Yeah,
with
'cause
that.
if it was like, I don't know, like a Ricky Gervais come out, you're like, "Oh my god, he's doing like the most awkwardest, cruelest joke ever."
Or somebody, because some of these actors, when they do this, they rely so strongly in the telecast, they cannot
Yeah.
like or not telecast, the teleprompter, they cannot veer away from it so that it's so stilted because they're clearly reading it and not very well because I don't know, they haven't got their glasses on because they're vain or I don't know, whatever. And it's just awkward. So if something like this had happened, I just don't think they'd have been able to pivot. They would have been like, "What do we do? What do we do?
Yeah.
What do we do?" So yeah,
It
that
was
was
handled
perfect.
perfect,
It
and
was
also happy for
perfect.
both winners.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
a
and
that
I could have got one of them, so that was good. I
I
predicted
did.
one of them.
I did. I was that was the 1A, 1B again. That I was like, I don't know who I'm going for. I didn't need to worry in the end 'cause obviously both won.
Yeah, and also the way that he was just all the ad libs were perfect because he was
Yes.
like, "Oh, this is gonna ruin so many Oscar pools." Yeah, but is it though? Because, more people get points. Like, I
Yes.
didn't give myself only half a point.
Yeah.
I was like, "No, I'm taking the full points. I
Yeah, I
got it
did.
right."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
They
gonna
came first.
plus, I was gonna say the one I predicted was the first announced, so
Oh, right, no, I was the second one.
oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I got my saliva, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
what was your thoughts on the in memoriam section? Because I
The
know
dead list, as I
yeah,
call it.
the dead
Yes.
list, the famous Heather Stewart dead list. Because I know I think the reaction online was kind of mixed because obviously it was a lot longer because of how they have newly done it, but I also think
Really?
it's
I only saw positive stuff.
I did see some ones going, "This is dragging now," and it's like, okay, like, what do you
I
want? Just like floating heads, a bit of music, and it's done in 30
No, I mean, I
seconds. Like,
think yeah. The thing is that, of course, as uh, you can't win.
I
Either you
don't
don't
think there's
spend
a
enough
right way
time
to do
doing
it.
it,
Yeah,
or everybody gets the same amount of time, and you are, and I'm sorry, and nothing against, I don't know, cinematographers that nobody's heard of. Like, I don't mean this in any way derogatory,
I know what you
but
mean.
a lot of people,
Don't know who they
there
are.
might be they just don't know who they are.
Yeah.
So you can't do a long bit for everybody.
The one
Now,
thing
you
I appreciate so much was for some of the people who I didn't even know, they played in the background some of the films that
yes, they do
that's
do that.
yeah,
Yeah, that's good.
that's the way
Yeah,
you do it, and then some got
yeah.
floating heads, and it weren't a lot, and it's like, just play something in the back for them, like, it's not difficult.
Mm. I mean, there was also a bit of, always about, oh, they spent like 10 minutes on this person, but like they forgot
I know they
this
forgot, like,
the
6 people, I think.
IMAX guy.
Yeah.
Like somebody like he said that, not obviously not developer of IMAX, but he was like one of the proponents of
Yes.
IMAX in Hollywood. And I
Not
think his
yeah,
family said something, or
and
just in
yeah.
general. There was something and they said, it's clear, and his family said something. Now, the problem is that in, it the family do have to kind of often speak up because the academy can't, and this sounds terrible that they should know, but they can't know. They can't
Yeah.
know what they don't know what they can't know, and they can't know
Yes.
what they don't know.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, they have forgotten some names in the past, and then they've like been justified it because, oh, well, they're going to get covered by the Emmys because they're more a TV
Yes.
personality, or they were covered last year because people are like, well, they forgot Gene Hackman, and you're like,
Yes,
well,
I was
actually,
just
Gene
about to
Hackman
say.
died 2 days before the Oscars last, or not, well, 2 weeks before, but it was announced like 2 or 3 days before. So, Gene Hackman was actually there last year, so don't worry, all good. And then, oh, well, why didn't Val Kilmer get as much time as Diane Keaton,
I
and
was
all this kind of
hoping Val
stuff,
would
but
get, mentioned, but at least he didn't get floating head.
yeah. And I think the thing with the Rhino thing is that it was so horrific what happened. And and I remember when I was talking with my brother, like, beforehand, he was like, "Well, Reiner's not so maybe he's not so famous for everybody, like, but yes, but you will have seen his films, that's the whole
Yes.
point. So even
Yeah.
if you might not even if the normal people amongst us might not know who the director of Misery, Stand By Me, When Harry Met Sally, Princess
Yeah.
Bride, all this
We
stuff,
all know
they
the
might not
films.
know the film,
Yeah.
which is why I think they had to kind of bring out those people because then you realize, oh my god, this guy's actually a
Yes.
giant.
Yes.
Um, and and I thought that was very, very moving with the Billy Crystal, and then they had everybody else. I'm getting
It was
goosebumps just thinking
lovely.
about it
Yeah.
again. Everybody standing behind, and they all came out, and there was so many of them, and they
Yes.
also people you'd forgotten
Yeah.
were in Reiner films,
Yeah.
and yeah, that was that. So I called that, by the way. I did say they'd start with a Reiner tribute, so called that. And then what else did they oh, and then they had Amy, not Amy Adams, Rachel McAdams, good grief. Rachel McAdams was the bit for Diane Keaton. I'm delighted that they covered Diane Keaton because
And
there's been
Catherine
so
O'Hara.
many, and then she did Catherine O'Hara
Yeah.
as well, but she ended with the Diane Keaton picture, and there's a gorgeous shot that was taken as well with Rachel McAdams still talking, and then this just beautiful picture of Diane Keaton kind of like behind her on the big screen, just like looking down on her, and it was just like, oh, yeah,
The
that was
Robert
quite
Redford got
emotional.
me.
And
They
then
ke
Robert Redford at the end.
everyone kept saving him till the end, and it was
Well, of
like, "Oh
course not. I
my"
said
yeah,
Redford would be
yeah,
last.
yeah.
Yeah. The
They were
prime
killing me.
position.
They were killing me with it every time.
Yeah, and then Barbara Streisand singing and didn't okay, I mean, clearly her voice is gone,
I'm
but
not a big Barbara Streisand
no.
fan, so I was like,
No, same.
yeah.
Yeah, and her
Also,
voice just isn't there.
I
It's
know
not
the
there anymore.
film. I know that film is obviously one of his
Mm.
most well-known ones, but when I think of Robert Redford, I think of The Sting or, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, you know?
Yeah, but
I get it, but
I got it.
did
The
you see
story
Jane
was
Fonda
nice. Yeah, she was
backstage?
like, "I was in 4 films with
Yeah.
him." Like, um, yeah, I mean, the story was nice. She took a bit along to get there, but I think a lot of the poignancy of her singing was the fact that I believe, and I read about this afterwards, or I heard it, that she'd said she would never sing publicly again.
Right.
Probably because she knew that her voice just wasn't
Yeah,
quite there
yeah.
anymore. I mean, come on, it goes with age, right? So, and this is fine. And if you're not training it all the time, but the fact that she still did it for this, and I think that was the poignancy of the moment.
And as we said, you're never gonna please everyone with an in
No, of course
memoriam.
not.
Like, it's literally an impossible task.
It often just goes too fast, or they focus on the blooming performer of the music, and you're like, "Wait a minute, there's people in the screen that we cannot
Yes.
see at home
Yeah,
because you've just decided to show the piano player
yeah.
or something at this
Well,
moment in
it's
time."
like I was expecting Robert Duvall to get, like,
Yes, that
that
surprised me.
shocked me.
That
Yeah,
he didn't get more. I mean, he did
yeah.
get a couple of, like,
He got like what Val Kilmer
scenes from
did.
his
He got
films.
scenes, yeah. He got the same as
Yeah,
Val.
yeah. I mean, I guess he was recent, but still, I mean,
It's
last
Robert
year they added
Duvall.
in Gene Hackman at the last minute, so
Yeah, it's, much like Hackman. It's Robert Duvall. It's not just
yeah.
like, "Oh, he was good for a little bit." It's Robert Duvall. He's
Mm.
a multi-time Oscar what is it, like, five-time Oscar nominee
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
or something
yeah.
around that. Like, he had
Mhm.
one of the best runs in the '70s, which, you know,
Yeah, but they still gave him a bit more
he didn't get floating heads.
time. He didn't, yeah, and
He got the lines. It's like the worst thing you can get is floating heads with no clips in the background, then it's
yeah,
floating clips with some in the background, then
mm,
it's lines from your film, and then it's an actual talking about you. That's kind of like how the
yeah,
tier
and we don't
goes.
really get the people talking about them. That's been the first time they've done it. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's good. I think they had
I
to. The
hope
thing
they
is, are they
carry it
now
on.
setting a precedent? Are they now? I mean, at what time do you decide? Oh, enough really mega famous people have died that we
I
need to do this.
I was gonna
So
say, I don't know whether this is setting a precedent or it was, "Oh, this was an abnormal year of iconic
it was that.
all-time
It was, but
actors."
where do
Yeah.
you cut? Where do you cut it? Where do you? Where do you?
Again,
Where do
we're
you?
not they're not gonna
Um,
win regardless what they
yeah.
choose.
But, like, if you remember 2016, that
That
was also an
that
insane year, but that was split over 2 years because there was a
yes.
lot in the January and the February who
That
then got
across the
that
board,
thing.
whether it was music, TV, or
Yes,
films,
exactly, it was mixed.
you could have
Yeah,
done a whole show of a memoriam for 2016. It was ridiculous.
yeah,
It
yeah, it
was
was awful.
it was terrible.
2016, there was God,
Everybody,
it
it
was like
felt
every
like
week.
it was, yeah, yeah. Moving on to lighter things was obviously the winners. We started off with Amy Madigan winning Best Supporting Actress, which was amazing. Her reaction and
Ed
Harris's
Harris's
reaction.
reaction.
I
Oh,
that was a proud
couple
husband.
goals.
Yeah. Well, they've been married, like, since what, like, '83, I think,
Yeah,
and
something
it's
like that.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's like and it obviously 40 year in between getting nominated, and she's finally won, and it's for a horror film again.
yeah,
That's
and he had
another
a
bit.
he had a few nominations in between as
Yeah,
well, though, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, horror won big. It's quite
Yeah,
nice
yeah,
to
yeah. So
see.
so Sinners, Weapons, and Frankenstein.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sinners if you count it, because I know some people
Yeah,
don't
people
count.
do.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. But, Amy Madigan win, which was we did predict at the last second.
My last minute lock-in. Yeah, I had everything empty apart from animated
I think
short and supporting actress, and I was like, "Oh, I'm
supporting
going down with
actress
Madigan ship. It'll
with
be fine."
supporting actress, I think anybody could have said anyone, and you would have been quite happy and going, "Oh, it's probably close." And,
Well, yeah, the sentimental value ladies didn't feel that they were really in with a shout, which is
they
a
should have
shame.
been. They should have
Yeah.
been.
Um, but by the way, absolute mega, mega props to Zoe Saldana for actually pronouncing Inga Ibsdotter, how did she say it? Lulas correctly. And I knew that was how you'd said it, but I thought I want to be able to pronounce it properly when I talk about her, but I could not get the because it's the weird A and it's like an ass, like, and it's really weird. And
Yes.
I couldn't say it properly, so I was just going to go how everybody else is calling her. But I
Yeah.
really felt bad about it because it always bugs me when people like just
I'm the
don't
same, but
pronounce
some
something
I just
correctly.
it's not in my mouth
And
doesn't do
it,
that,
I
you know?
just didn't, I just couldn't
Yeah,
make that sound.
yeah.
But she nailed that. Like, I mean, sometimes, of course, it helps if you have multiple languages
Yes.
like
Yes.
going on. But I mean, I'm bilingual too, and I can't do it. So, um, but yeah, so well, really, really good. I mean, I was so excited that she was like the first person I've heard this season actually say it how I believe
Yes.
it is
Yeah.
pronounced because I listened. I really tried. I really tried to listen and get it, and my mouth was not doing it. So, but yeah, no, that was she was my favorite, which was such a shame because I wanted to talk about her a lot, but then I
Yeah.
just couldn't pronounce the surname. No, so yeah, my reasoning in the Madigan was I went against all logic in the end and was like, you know what? Other people are going with Madigan. I'm just gonna go down with the Madigan ship because if everybody else is right and I'm wrong, then I'll be annoyed. And at least we can all be wrong together. And yeah, if I'd gone with like say Wunmi or Tiana and had won, yeah, I would have like had boasting rights and everything. But um, I was like, I don't know. And then I listened to it was the Next Best Picture podcast. They're like 24 hours to go last one, and that was the one that gave me the argument I needed to actually push me into put in Madigan because what did they say? They said in any award show where it's been all three of them, so Taylor, Madigan, and Musaku. Madigan has always won. Okay, BAFTA, she wasn't nominated. At the Globes, I think Wunmi was missing.
Yes.
Anyway,
That
there's
sounds
always
right.
been, and then critics. Yes, that's right, because Critics' Choice she won, and Critics' Choice she won, and she wasn't at BAFTA, and at SAG she also won when it was all three of them. So yes, you could say, well, why didn't she get in at BAFTA? But BAFTA, like they
It's
wanted to get in Emily
BAFTA.
Watson
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But that was convinced me because I thought, well, maybe it is a case of Musaku and Tiana Taylor splitting the vote a little bit from the best pictures. Like, we love this picture, we're voting for them. We love this best picture, we're going to vote for that one. And then Amy Madigan's like going whoop straight through the middle. And that was what finally convinced me to like, right, you know what? I'm actually going to put her in. I feel good about it
Yeah.
in a way.
'Cause I
So
think it was like 3 award shows in, obviously, she won the first one and then didn't win the next 2.
no,
So it was like, oh, is she gonna be
but
an
she was the
awardee?
critics winner, I
It was
think.
like, oh,
So
is she gonna
yeah.
be an awardee? She started good and then it just faded away, and luckily, no. Um, and then obviously best supporting actor, Kieran Culkin was the
Oh,
recipient.
poor Kieran. He was looking forward it to so much. He
My
was
fa
saying,
He handled it so where he went,
yeah.
he's not
No, he
here,
did, yeah.
or might not just care and don't wanna be
Just don't
here.
be here. Fine.
It
He's not here.
turns
Shouldn't
out
be
he
here.
was in
Didn't care.
Ukraine.
He was in Ukraine. Yeah.
Yeah, and now President Zelensky has an Academy Award.
I think he'd given that to him earlier, but yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, whatever. Fine. Whatever.
yeah.
He's maybe going to get another one. Maybe we're going to give him that one as well.
Sean Penn's got 3 on his mantle. He doesn't need
Yeah.
another one. And this was the first time he was nominated for Best Supporting Actor, and he won because all the others were in Best Actor. So
Yeah. I
I
mean, I'm in two minds about it. I mean, he wasn't my preferred choice in the cat,
normally
but like it
Stellan.
was good. Yes, same. But I mean,
To be honest, I was
I
probably Stellan Delroy then Penn.
I think I'd a Lordy second.
Fair.
I'm in two minds about it because on the one
I
hand, I'm
I
like,
need
well,
to rewatch it because I don't know how that performance is going to age in my head.
so many people came out of that. Like, you can say, well, like that's Shawnee's going to do it, but I'm like, well, it's so over the top. But
Yes,
but it is what you remember. And it's like it's like a classic villain performance and thing. And we say all the time, it's like, well, the Academy, like we said it with Autumn. We were like, well, maybe they should. On the one hand, we want them to vote for what's the right choice, not just because of like history or anything. In this case, they voted for what they thought was the right performance and clearly did not care that Sean Penn did not care that you had two other veteran actors in that category who, would really want that award.
and
Like, and
I said to
but they
my
didn't
mom,
care.
I was like, right, Penn's got 2 already, and for Best Actor, Elroy and Stellan might not get here again, and probably
Mm.
won't.
Mm.
like, just, and it's not like it's a petty thing,
Yeah,
'cau
but
it's not like it's a pity award either, 'cause they would be deserving, especially Stellan, like,
mm,
so
yeah.
I'm just so glad Sentimental won international
Oh,
because I was like, it could be The Secret Agent.
that felt like they just crawled and dragged themselves over the finish line. Oh my
It
goodness.
it it went from,
It
"Oh,
oh,
they've got this," to, "Oh, they might not even be, like, second on the ballot," because you also had, "It was just an accident," and that could have won.
well, I mean, I did say I was having a minor crisis like a couple of days before, and I was saying, well, what happens if all this Iran stuff,
Yeah,
depending on how people are thinking, um, if that doesn't give it was just an accident, which, to be fair, really should have been in more contention to win than it ended up being. But if that didn't give it some kind of last minute push, and then I was thinking, well, let's have a look. When did the Iran war start? When was the voting window? All this kind of stuff. Um, Iran war, whatever. It's not a war. We're not allowed to call it that, but we can call it a war when Trump ends it. Oh my
yes,
god.
yes. It's another
Anyway,
war.
it's a
It's yeah,
it's another mess over there that
yeah.
nobody should be
Jafar
involved in.
Panahi cannot win in his life, like, Jesus Christ, like, I
Yeah.
if he goes back there, he's getting arrested, and now his
Well, he said he's
country's
gonna go back. So,
and now
he
his
said he's
coun
gonna go back, he's gonna
yeah,
go to prison, he's gonna write another film while he's there.
yeah,
Use the
fair
time.
enough. Yeah,
Um,
he did such a
yeah.
good job with that film. And then you got No Other Choice wasn't even nominated because
No, wasn't even there.
They hate Park Chan-wook for whatever
They
reason.
really do.
They just spies the man. He's never been nominated ever, which is ridiculous.
I saw Oldboy, like,
It's
the other day.
incredible.
It's
It's
so good.
disturbing. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, between that and The Handmaiden, how the hell didn't he get, like,
Mm.
those films get, like, 5
Yeah,
nominations?
yeah, yeah. I can understand The Handmaiden for particular reasons. Yeah. But, that, yeah, that was probably the Pearl Clutchers didn't like The
Yeah,
Handmaiden.
yeah.
But yeah, an old boy is quite disturbing. But like, what was wrong with No Other Choice? I mean,
It it's
I
it's
mean,
it's a
it's
simple
not
film.
exactly not
It
disturbing, but it's
it
also not.
No, it is a
It's not
film
as bad as
about
others.
it's a film about a man who loves paper. That
Yeah,
that
exactly.
is it, and
And
it's
he's
incredible.
dedicated. He's
He
like Timothy Chalamet. He's dedicated to his goal,
he's dedicated to his craft and wants to be the best paper maker.
and wants to get back into the business. Just give him a chance.
Obviously, I
Yeah.
asked you if there was shocks earlier. Speaking of not shocks, Jessie Buckley won Best Actress, which
I know. I fell off my chair in
I
shock.
I I
Yeah.
was shocked for.
Mm,
I was incredibly shocked.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what more can you say? It's incredible performance, and
Yeah, yeah, it's fine.
Jessie Buckley is good at acting, it turns out.
Yeah, yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's I don't know. I just first of all, I hate it when people sweep. It's just like unless it's my
I'm the
preferred
same.
performance, in which case,
I said in one of my recent videos, I was like, a sweep if it's like it's a bit of a low year and there's just one performance that's clearly better than anyone, okay, there's a
yeah,
sweep happening. When it's like this and there's so many good performances in films, why is the sweeps happening?
yeah. I think, uh,
I can't
hmm.
be sat here like saying that she's not incredible because
No,
she
she's
is.
not. It's
Yeah.
no, it's not. I don't know.
I just
It
wanted
just,
Renat to win.
yeah. I mean, Renata was great, but I mean, I was all in on Rose Byrne, but
She's also incredible.
it's
It was a stacked other and featuring Kate Hudson.
yeah, featuring Kate Hudson.
I
Which is
was
why, by the way, I feel the casting was in kind of a way like almost the recognition as well for Chase, because she was the one that did the Fab Five that they had for the casting, and
She should have been nominated.
she
She was so
and then
good.
she was the one mentioned in the speech, or the woman,
She
yeah.
also marketed that to young people
Yes, exactly.
better than
She
any
had
studio
TikTok
could.
covered.
She had TikTok with
She
Sean Penn and
Yeah,
Leonardo DiCaprio.
exactly. No,
Anybody who
but
does that deserves something, like, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And then
But
obviously,
hey.
uh, the big one, that, well, I predicted and I was hoping would happen, and due to unforeseen circumstances for one person, it did happen, and that's Best Actor, which Michael B. Jordan, who was dressed literally, I've never seen a suit so clean in my life. It was like they had lint rollers just before he walked on, and they like
Mm,
it was fresh out the packet. It was incredible. Um, he gave one of my favourite speeches
he
I've
did a
heard in a
great
while
speech.
because
Yeah.
he wasn't like patting himself on the back. He was just
No.
thanking the ones who paved the way. Because Sidney Poitier, who only got nominated like once, which was ridiculous. Denzel, who's just should have way more than he does. And it wasn't until he said like the names, you're like, is that it?
Mhm. That's what people say. They were like, first of all, it's great that he's acknowledging them. First of all, and secondly, but it's really sad that it was easy to just roll them off in like the space of, you know, 20
But it's
seconds.
yeah. When he said it, I was like, and then I was like, "There's got to be somebody he's missed." And then I look, no,
Mm-mm.
he's the
No,
sixth
he
black
only did
man.
lead. He only did lead performances because
Yeah,
obviously there's quite a few more in supporting. Still not a huge number, but yeah, no, he did the leads. I thought, yeah, his speech was great. He was very humble. He gets up on stage and goes like, "What's up, mom?" Like, so cute.
his dad flew in from
His dad flew in
Ghana.
from Ghana.
The one
There
thing
was so much love in the room for that guy. You could just feel like
again, he just it's like a coup. Like, I think everybody just
yeah.
really likes him, and they're like, "No, good for you." Like,
And I think, I liked Chalamet in Marty Supreme. I still don't understand why everybody thought it was his to lose, quite frank. Because I know he won the Golden Globes and I knew
that's
he won Critics' Choice, but where was the industry support? It
that
wasn't
was
there.
that was one
And
question I'd wrote to
we
you was, did he
don't.
cost it himself, or wasn't
Well,
it
I
as
don't even
nailed
know
on
that.
the
I don't
yeah?
even know if he was ever in with the chance because, like, the CCA are trying to kind of predict the Oscars. They're quite populist. The Globes as well, to a certain extent. There's no overlap. And I think with somebody like him who polarizes to a certain extent, or has that degree of arrogance, which I think you kind of also need to be successful in this business, but you need to
Yes.
know how to kind of,
You can be arrogant, but
rein it in
you don't
as,
have to be Hugh Grant as obvious and upfront where you're like, "Okay,
yeah.
you know," yeah.
So I think, do we, and because will never know who was second at BAFTA, like, we'll never know. And
Yeah,
I don't think it was Michael B. Jordan,
I don't.
but like,
Eh,
it,
if
it,
anything, I'd probably guess like Leo because
I think so.
they love
Yeah.
Leo. Everybody loves
Yeah.
Leo.
Yeah, I think probably he was possibly even second, like, at SAG and at the Academy Awards.
and
Because if
then
you
you
just look at
can't,
that film, he's
as
the
we
face
were
of it.
saying before we recorded, like you can't discount any man that was up for Best Actor
It was a
because
great 5.
Wagner
Yeah.
won. Ethan Hawke's always going to be around there because he's incredible. I mean, he doesn't get acknowledged for it, but he gets his nominations, but not his wins.
No, he didn't get nominated for First Reform though, which he swept all the critics there. But
Yeah,
and that is the thing of it as well, that I do think sometimes the critics, they have their champions that they push specifically just to get them into the conversation. So I said this as well, like about Benicio del Toro. I don't even know if the critics genuinely believe that that was the best supporting performance, but they realized that, here's somebody who we can potentially get into the conversation and we want to champion. And with Rose Byrne, it worked. Last year it didn't work with Marianne Jean-Baptiste, but Rose Byrne was winning all those critics prizes and got the nomination for a tiny, 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 tiny film, which is incredible. And without Francis Fisher going, vote for this person, like with the to Leslie, but um, I don't know. They're just going to make Timmy wait, and are we going to look back on this and say, well, is he going to start doing more biopics and
if he does,
or and
I,
then just get awarded for something that's so mid that
I don't think it's going to be a Pacino where it's like, he finally gets his scent of a woman, but robbed Denzel for
oh
Malcolm
yeah,
X.
God,
I don't
yeah,
think it's going to be that, but it's also like, I've said this like numerous times. This is the third time that Timmy's been nominated, and the other two that he was nominated for, I don't believe he should have been nominated. That's just me personally because I don't like Call Me by Your Name, and the Bob Dylan biopic, it's a joke because anybody does a biopic. Like, I'm surprised still that Dwayne Johnson didn't somehow get in somewhere at this point because, it's like, oh, he's acting now, and it's like,
And he's got
no,
prosthetics.
yes,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
But with the one thing I want to actually give praise to the Academy. The fact that when Michael B. Jordan got announced, they didn't immediately cut to Chalamet's reaction like I thought they might. They actually left it, and I was like, okay. I mean,
No,
it's
they showed. I mean, he was fine. I mean,
the one thing I will
the
say.
face that he
He
did a
he
he did a
was
fine face.
he was smiling, but his eyes looked sad.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Leo jumped straight up, which was great. I
Ethan
mean,
Hawke was like great
yeah, he was
because
great for SAG as well. Ethan Hawke, like,
yes,
gave him the good. I just think that was, from what I've heard from, or read from people who were actually in the room, that was the loudest. That was the loudest and thing. And I do wonder if it's a mixture of relief that it wasn't Chalamet, which just sounds awful, or just because he's worked with so many people and is so beloved or is known by so many. And you also saw it when he won, or he was in there getting his award engraved, and everybody was coming up to him, and they were just like so happy for him. And it's it's a good win. So I
very
did
good.
not have him. I think I had him at 4 or 5 in my own like rankings. But that's no slight against the performance at all. Any of these, and yes, I'm including Timothy Chalamet, any of these 5 would have been an incredible winner. This is might be one of my favorite collection of 5 lead actors ever. I'm trying to think. I think
I think
2023 was pretty good actually, with
yes,
where Cillian Murphy won. That was a pretty good lineup, but I'm still easily put them in an order of 5 of
yes.
those ones. Whereas this one, I'm like, I feel bad having Michael B. Jordan 4 or 5. I feel bad putting Ethan Hawke 4 or 5. Like, I feel terrible about this. I mean, I think my order that I finally settled on and felt awful was Leo, Timmy, Wagner, and then I can't remember whether I ended up putting Ethan Hawke or Michael B. Jordan fourth of it. I genuinely can't remember, and I felt bad
Yeah.
either way. And then I was like, at one point, I had Wagner last, and I'm like, well, why am I doing this? No, he's the face of the film. Move him up again. I had everybody in every position at one point,
When
and
I did my rankings, I posted the video and then I immediately changed the order in my
yeah,
head. Leo went from like 2 to 4 because I bumped up Ethan Hawke and Wagner Moore. I was like, without them, those films don't work. They collapse, and they are
yeah.
terrible without
I
them
just
because
felt
yeah,
awful the whole
yeah.
way. I just didn't feel good
It,
about any order
it's a
because they
good
were all so good.
it's a good problem to have though
It is a
because
good performance, and
it
it's one that
means
we very rarely have.
it
Yeah.
means they've done the job correctly and nominated the right people. Whereas
Yeah,
like
and Jesse Plemons was right there.
yes, and like Best Actress, I could have I ranked them so easy because I was like, well, Emma Stone and Kate Hudson are
Yeah,
definitely last because
4 and 5.
they
Yep.
shouldn't even be here. Where if they did like a nominated Jennifer Lawrence for Die My Love and Eva Victor for Sorry Baby, then I'm
And
like
Chase Infinity.
or Chase Infinity, I then don't know what to do. I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah,
It
no,
was
to
the
me,
same.
my actress was clearly one was for me, clearly Rose Byrne. I found actress easier to rank. I think with the other ones I found supporting actor quite hard to rank, um, and
Because
ended up just saying,
they're so
uh
different in
yeah,
what they
it's also
bring.
so this is what I had with 2023 in supporting actor as well, where I was sat there going, like, I actually really like a lot of these performances. I think I ended up putting De Niro first.
It was a good year.
That was a good year.
It
But then
was.
when Downey won it, I was like, I don't care that Downey's winning it. This is absolutely fine. He's incredible in Oppenheimer. But I mean, as you say, it's a nice problem to have.
Yeah.
And we
It's
very rarely have in lead
I was
actor,
gonna
quite
say
frankly.
we never have this problem normally.
No.
Well, it's like
Yeah.
even when me, you, and Amanda reacted to it, it was like for Best Picture, it was like take F1 out there and put another film in, and we're all like, "Wow, this is like they nailed it pretty much." And
I
you know what
strongly disagree.
you know what I mean.
But
There were so many films
E-
that I felt
F1
Cars Go Vroom,
F1 was that seemed to be the one that didn't fit, but on the other hand, now I have seen the film.
and now it's a
It's
five-star film for Heather.
it's absolutely five-star film. Yeah, no, it was. I was. 100% more entertained during F1 than I was during Train Dreams and Hamnet. Do I think it's a better film? No. But uh, I understand why it's there. It's the big blockbuster that they have, and it is impeccably made. I mean, if you're just, and I think we said this as well, like if you're just taking the crafts into account and you've got your people who are, you've got your sound engineers voting, or you've got your, your editing people, or whatever else that they got nominated for, visual effects. Those people also have a vote to nominate for Best Picture. And if they're saying, well, this is one of the most impeccably made films of the year, and I don't care about the cheesy lines and I don't care about the acting, then yeah, sure, put it in there. Then they're going to put it. Then they're going to rank it quite high. Or if you've just got people who just enjoyed it and said, I'm going to vote for the film that I enjoyed the most. I mean, it was an entertaining. It was incredibly predictable, and it was way too long, and it was cheesy and so much exposition about F1. And I'm like, oh, we get it. I mean, I'm like, okay, I know because I understand the F1 rules, but there was just so much unrealistic exposition. But
But we do get the
whatever.
treat that is Damson Idris and Javier Bardem. So
Oh, yeah, I mean, Xavier Bardem was pleasant to look at, but, Kerry Condon, why is she wearing such a tight shirt? Sorry, I mean, I mean, I think it's great that they're saying, "Oh, a woman can be the technical director of this F1 team,"
yes, but
albeit a successful one,
I don't
but,
believe the technical director would be then in a shirt that is like three
is her
sizes
buttons are
too.
popping. Why
Yes,
is her buttons popping?
yeah.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt probably wrote that in.
Oh, yeah.
But obviously we had One Battle After Another win the Best Picture and PTA win Best Director, which fine, yeah. PTA finally gets his Oscar, which yeah. No notes. It was just like yeah,
I liked the fact that his and Kugler's speeches, first of all, they was back-to-back winning, which was great. It's kind of like screenplay, two, obviously very respected and loved people in the
yes,
business getting their dues. And I like the fact that they had very similar speech topics in a way. Like their speeches were very similar themed. So PTA also talked about being away from his kids, about being absent in times of his craft, and also talked about the legacy that he was leaving, and leaving his people say he should be more political. I know you've said this, but he did kind of say that the world is like effed up. Like he
yeah,
kind of said it in his speech.
yeah.
And um, I think he's also very careful about saying too much that could be taken out of context. I mean, as I say, look at Timothy Chalamet. He's clearly not media trained and stuff like that. It's and he's not commenting on
Yeah.
world politics. But
He's got
I
that
think
school in New York brash media
I
training.
but I think PTA's films talk like his films kind of speak for his opinions. Like he literally opens with like an ice
Yeah.
camp. So
It's also funny
like
that some of the actors that he got involved are politically opposite to what the film's topics are about, and he still got them
yeah.
in it, and it's like it's great,
But so I like that. But then the Kugler speech, of course, I mean, he's just so authentic, the guy. His speeches have been incredible the whole way through.
My
They're
friend
not
said,
polished. They're
and I was like, that's true. It's just a little thing. When he speaks like how he normally talks. He doesn't put on an accent to go, I'm at a formal event. I'm going to talk like,
no.
proper. And it's like, no, he's from Compton and that is him. Like it's just so authentic to where he's from, and it's great.
He acknowledged that. He was like, we're from Oakland, we talk a lot. And he's been, yeah, like to your point, he's been like that the whole way through. And I've said this as well, in other like chats and podcasts, that I just love that authenticity about him. That yeah, I think he knows what he wants to say, but he can also react on the fly because he's eloquent, but in a way that's not like a polished, like in a polished way. And it's just really authentic, and he comes across as being, like, kinda nervous, but still gets out what he wants to say without forgetting anything,
Yes,
whereas
yeah.
PTA was like, "Oh my god, I forgot to thank my cast. Thank goodness I'm getting another award," basically. I did like PTA's when he got directed basically saying, you make a guy work hard for this." Like, just kind of a little bit of shade.
And Tiana
But,
Taylor putting him
yeah.
in a headlock,
Oh
walking
my
up
god,
for
poor guy. I
yeah.
bet he's pleased, like
And
Because
she
she's been doing
but
that. You know, actually, shout out to Tiana Taylor. She
yeah,
got shit for on like people saying she was over the top celebrating Amy Madigan. This is not authentic. I'm like, have you not been paying attention? She has been like the whole way through for everybody. She was whooping and hollering when Michael B. Jordan won. She was up there. Amy Madigan was like screaming when Tiana Taylor won the Globe. They were talking about it as well. They say they've just formed such a close bond, those best supporting actress ladies, because they've been kind of traveling around. And Amy Madigan said, for her it was harder because she was like traveling and going to all these award shows and stuff, but she was the only one from her film like some of the time. Because I know that Zach Kreger was there yesterday to
yeah.
support, not yesterday, like the other day to support, but like
There
often
was
it's just
nobody
been
from
her.
Weapons, yeah, yeah.
No, nobody else was
It's
there
her
for
and
the
Ed
smaller
Harris.
shows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And not even him some of the time. Like
Yes,
she's
yeah.
literally just been sat at a random table because, oh, there's space there, let's put in Amy Madigan. And she said that she's been so grateful for, to have Tiana Taylor and to have Wunmi Mosaku and have
Just
and she
everyone,
didn't
yeah,
mention the other two, but
yeah.
this you can tell that they're all really celebrating each other. And Tiana then even put out something on Instagram or something saying, what is wrong with you? Why
People
can we
don't
not
like strong
celebrate
women
other people? I am genuinely happy for this wonderful woman and we've formed such a bond. And why does she have to do that? Why can people not just
because
realize it's authentic? Because
because
she's been
people
like that the whole time.
because people don't like strong, confident
No,
women. That's it.
yeah, but
They'll a lot
she's
this
such a hype woman.
They
And
see a
but
bunch of women getting on, and they're like, "No, you should be all bitching," and and like
but why?
it should be competitive. Why?
But Jamie Lee Curtis got actually she got praise for it. She's like, oh my god, you want to somebody like Jamie Lee Curtis in your camp? And you're like, yeah, okay, she's fine, but Tiana Taylor does it, and she's called inauthentic.
Yeah,
What's the difference here? And
yep.
it's awful. It's like Tiana Taylor is so enthusiastic. She's just so happy to be there. She's been, celebrating everybody. How can you say that that's it doesn't she's
Even
just like that person.
when you see like behind the scenes stuff on set for One Battle, that's who
Yeah,
she is.
yeah, that's who she is.
Yeah.
And you should not have to apologize or, kind of hide your light just because other people can't deal with it. Like, if she's happy for her friend, let her be happy for her friend. I mean, look at other, like, I don't know, yeah, Holly Hunter, like, not Holly Hunter, yes, Holly Hunter, when, she, when she was the Year of the Piano, she won Best Lead Actress, but that was later on in the evening. She was nominated against Anna Paquin for Best Supporting Actress. Holly Hunter was nominated for a different film. Obviously, she, had grown close to Anna Paquin because of being in the piano together, but the way she celebrated that surprising win as well with her, or just other ones where you see somebody genuinely so happy. Why are we focusing on Tiana Taylor? This has been a thing for so many. Why are we always wanting to pit people against each other when there isn't necessarily that there between the two of them? Like,
Well, when it's like
I
the
don't
men
understand.
competing, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, this is what we want," like they all want it, and it's like, but then a woman does it, and it's like, okay, no, like they're being too much, and it's like, why? It makes no sense.
Yeah. Did anybody? Oh, Leo, right? Take him as an example. First one out of his seat, clapping like crazy for Michael B. Jordan. Is anybody saying anything about that? No. They're all saying, oh, look at Leo being so supportive of Michael B. Jordan. Why is nobody saying, oh, Leo's really inauthentic?
Double
I mean, they're
standard.
double standard. Totally. And it really annoys me. So, yes, we all want Tiana Taylor as a hype woman in our lives. It's
She might be
incredible.
the best
Women
hype woman
supporting
I've
women.
ever seen. Yeah,
Hmm?
she might be the best hype woman I've ever
Yeah.
seen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Incredible.
yeah.
And I just don't understand that. It's amazing what people just focus on. Oh,
Well, it's
gosh,
like a
need to get
double
offline.
standard, but with
Yeah.
everything else, it's like a triple standard. If anything, like it's
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah.
Before we leave it, the one question I've got, which I actually penciled in just before we started recording, what win of like the main ones, or just maybe you've got a different answer, not outside the big five, but what win do you think will age the worst?
Ooh,
But there's a couple
I don't
like
know.
you've already got people online going, Michael B. Jordan's not going to age well, and Amy Madigan's not going to age well. It's like it's been 3 days or 2 days or whatever. It's like, yeah, but some people are already like annoyed at that, and it's like, okay,
I think No, I think they'll all age fairly well. I think there will be, when we go back to, like, looking at things, there will be questions asked about, well, did Sean Penn need a third one? Yeah, but that's
Yes.
not necessarily the ones you take away,
Yeah.
you know. Um,
I'm just thinking from
or
the mind of future revisionist almanac episode on
yeah,
this
yeah,
film
I
year.
know. That's where
Yeah.
I'm kind of
What's the
as
one
well.
that Andrew's probably gonna go, "No, I'm taking that
No,
away."
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know who he voted for in each category, but
Yes, yeah.
and
Amy Madigan's safe, so
well, so this is the thing. I think Amy Madigan is possibly going to be the one where people go, "Oh my god, that one, that one." But it's not like a Jamie Lee Curtis, that one.
yeah.
It's, and also that's been a bit of discourse that I haven't understood. People saying it's a legacy win. Where is it a legacy win? Nobody knows who this woman is. I mean, no, nothing against Amy Madigan. She is not a household
She
name.
said herself, "For the longest time, I've just been, oh, it's Ed
Ed,
Harris's wife."
Mrs. Ed Harris.
And
Yeah.
it was great because Ed
And
Harris said, "Now I'm like, oh, it's Amy Madigan's
I'm Mrs.
husband,"
Amy
and it's
Madigan.
like, yeah, yeah. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but
it's
no, but
like
where is this a legacy win? Like literally,
because
what? Nobody knows who she
because
is.
she got nominated 40 years ago,
Yes,
quite literally.
but she's playing a witch. She is playing somebody who gets torn up with a crazy wig. Yeah, I mean, she's a Halloween character. She's playing somebody who gets torn apart by children at the end of like what? Sorry, spoilers. Oops. But like she, where is this a Academy friendly Oscar bait role? Sorry,
Yeah,
what?
it's not a
What are
biopic.
you? um, okay. So I think in you. All right, do you know which one I think? I think it's gonna be the Buckley one, and I feel terrible
It
saying
could
that,
be.
but I think if you take all the everything away, and you just go and look at the performances, and you take all the kind of, Buckley was always pushed. She was, she's the focus of that film, and it is, it is an incredible performance, but it's the kind of thing that they do like to award. Let's be real. Um, and there's subtleties to it as well. So there is a lot of the grief acting, which, I do not want to say how somebody might react in that situation. Of course, it's like probably one of the worst situations you can go through, or the whole, like, birth scenes. Like, it's nothing I can relate to. So I don't know. So I don't know, like, I'm sure it's extremely painful, but why the hell would you go into the woods to do it? Okay, but that's the person that Agnes is. She's at one with nature. That's where she feels safest. All I can say is thank goodness for modern medicine.
Yes.
Anyway, but I'm not saying any of that, but I just think it is, of all of these performances, it's the one that strikes me as being the most, of course, they're going to vote for that one. But maybe this is just because I'm coming from a position where it's like I really wanted Rose Byrne to win, and I'm just really sad that she didn't. But I knew she wasn't going to. So, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
But I
I
think it
I
might be that one.
I do agree. I think it'd be that or actually Sean Penn's one.
Yeah, but I do
Because
think with the Sean Penn, it is he's got so many incredible line deliveries,
he does,
and
but I also
it's,
see it as one of those roles that could be it's I think could
mm,
be like a bit Marmite for people. Like there's
yeah,
either ones who
for
love
sure.
it or are
Yeah.
like, "What the hell is this?" Like,
Well, speaking like, so my brother, it was the first thing he said. He said, Sean Penn is incredible. He needs to be winning everything. Also, my manager, who doesn't watch that many films, he was like, he was like really proud to me. He says on Monday, he goes, "Oh, I called Sean Penn winning." He's like, "I predicted that one." I was like, "Oh, well done." Like, he never, no, I mean, he watched the film and he said, "This guy needs to be winning." I mean, he doesn't predict the whole things, of course, but he was like, "Oh, I felt quite proud that he was like, oh, I saw that." And I was like, "That's an Oscar winning performance."
yeah, I
But
had that
so that's what people
opinion.
are saying because
Yeah,
it's what they remember.
I had that opinion, and then I watched Sentimental Value, and I was like, "Okay, Stellan Skarsgård needs to win everything."
Yeah, but nobody would no, yeah, people
Yeah.
don't, yeah, I know. It's
If
just it's the kind of
if
thing that doesn't often win,
if it
so
was in English, it'd win because people are lazy with subtitled films. They're like, "Oh, I'll watch it dubbed." No, just no.
yeah. Um, I think is a difference as well between aging well and people years after the fact saying, "Well, maybe somebody else would have been a better winner." I think, what we're saying about Jordan is that, like, it's a win everybody can feel good about. He's very popular and he is genuinely great in the film. maybe if you, as I say, take everything without any of the context of Sinners being, second best in picture, which it clearly was, and being so popular and all the discourse and everything, all of this. Yeah, I mean, he still does a great job. I do wonder if people, it'll be interesting if people like revisiting things. I do wonder if it would go towards Wagner in the end, like
Yeah,
years and years out.
yeah.
We say actually, and that's strange because I only had Wagner at third myself, but I do think because Leo's got so many other things that he's going to be working on, and is Wagner ever going to be in that
Yeah,
situation again? And he literally is the film.
Leo will be back probably this
Timmy will be
decade.
back. Yeah,
Timmy will be back 18 times just in the decade.
yeah.
Will he get nominated for Dune Part 3? Probably not, and that's gonna
No,
blow his mind.
no, I don't think it will. I
Well,
think
don't forget in that interview,
June is
he
not an actor's thing. It's
he
not.
said in that interview he's doing Marlon Brando Apocalypse Now and Heath Ledger
Okay,
Dark Knight level shit in that film, and I'm
okay.
no, you're not.
No, we haven't seen it. The trailer was great. The trailer dropped yesterday, and I thought it was amazing, and I got goosebumps. And we're going to have a
I'm
score
just
off next year. We've got
I'm
the
just so
yeah.
excited for Anya Taylor-Joy and Florence Pugh in that film because I love both of them and they are always great.
Hardly in the trailer. Ooh, we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, the score off is gonna be
score is
fun. Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, there was me like going, oh well, Ludwig's coming for his fourth next year with the Odyssey, and I'm like, oh, I don't know, because
Yeah.
Hans Zimmer is right there,
I
and as
I
long as
I
there's enough original stuff,
I
we'll
would
put him in.
love John Williams.
But yeah, and he's got something as well.
Because that'd be the oldest win
Because
then.
this is his last score. It's got to be. Yeah,
You'd think. How old is he, like,
he's in his
90?
90s.
I was gonna say he's in his
Yeah,
mid-90s as well, like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
give John another one. I before even hearing the scores, just give John another. Ludwig's gonna
Mm,
win, I don't know how many because he's
yeah,
3
but
for 3.
I genuinely really love Ludwig Göransson, so I'm like, give him all the awards.
He's so,
Um,
so ta
yeah, but
also,
I no, the
the
Zimmer
lo
one yesterday with like June, I'm like, oh, he's cooking.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then you see, like, Miles Caton's live performance of
Oh,
Logic. Oh
we
my g
haven't talked about that. That was
yeah, that's the last thing
incredible.
we'll mention.
That was
That was one of the most
amazing.
goosebump-inducing things I've ever seen. Like, Miles Caton's live vocals,
So I kind of when they announced that they were going to do the live performance. And they announced that it was going to be supported by, and I'm like, oh, I think they're going to try and recreate the scene. I think they're going to try and do it. And they did it because they
yeah,
had all the various influences. They had the ballet dancer.
who
They
come
had
out of
the,
retirement as well because she'd retired because she had hip
yeah,
replacement surgery and she'd come
yeah.
out of retirement just for this,
And
which
then a lot of people also missed is that they had Jack O'Connell and the
yes,
other two
yeah.
like ones that
He went to
the
the red
clan
carpet
members that he turns into vampires.
with the
They came
teeth in,
on.
yeah.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
at the red carpet with his teeth in where I was like, "Man, that's dedication for the bit."
No.
Yeah.
And then they had as part of the performance, them trying to get onto the stage, what I thought was so clever, and I think a lot of people, like, missed that in the telecast, but
I said to
yeah.
my friend, what I'm worried about with Miles Kane, because he's so talented, is
Mm.
that he's gonna go to music more than acting.
Well, then let's get him an EGOT.
I mean, out of the people off the top of our heads, that's probably the one you'd go, "Okay, that's the guy who's gonna do it next."
Well, you say this, but Ludwig Göransson is only 2 Tonys away from a double EGOT because he's got everything
Wow.
else twice,
Yeah, yeah.
which I didn't realise. I didn't know he had an Emmy.
Yeah, that'll probably
Um,
happen then.
I mean, he's just got to do something for the stage. So,
I mean,
put Sinners on the stage.
that's an idea.
Mm, yeah.
Miles Kane,
No,
one-man show.
and these people are all still so young. Oh my God. It's like there's got
Yeah,
so much. If you look at all of them, actually, they've just got so much time ahead of them. If you look at some of the directors that are still working today, Spielberg and Scorsese and Bloomin', Francis Ford Coppola to a certain extent, or Ridley Scott. I mean, they're all still working. This means that we've still got like 40, 50 years of Ryan Coogler, perhaps, or still another 30 of Paul Thomas Anderson if he wants to, or Chloe Zhao. She's also, she's like what, early 40s as well.
I think, yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So much more to
S
come from these people.
In terms of making films and acting in films and producing films, it's in a good place, cinema is, it's just the studios that are a complete mess.
Yeah, but
Yeah. It'll be
let's
fun
just
until
hope they're still
Paramount
getting
ruin
funding
it.
for their original films,
Yeah. It'll be
and
fun
as I
until
say,
Paramount and Netflix ruin the whole thing.
yeah, and yeah,
Are
I
you like,
it's just like it's Warner Brothers, like, they gave them the money to do this, and I just think there'll be so much more control over it to get these pitches approved. You know, if you'd come with this pitch to, I mean, I know that both of them have a kind of a certain reputation, but still, the story's kind of insane. If you go and pitch like Sinners, or you go and pitch one battle after another, it's you have to find the right studio that's going to say, yeah,
yeah.
go on, go for it. We trust you.
It's like with Sinners as well. If Coogler hadn't have managed Creed and Black Panther,
Mm,
he doesn't get a look in.
no,
There's no way they give him money to make a film like that.
no. I
Whereas they're
mean, it's the
like, "Hey,
same.
you're a guy who can carry a franchise, so yeah, go ahead and do
Yeah,
your vampire film," you know?
yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's the same with Nolan. Like, he kind of had to do the Batman films
Well, even, when he
to,
did
although
Insomnia, that was
Inception was huge.
well, it's
Inception was
like when
huge
he
as
did
well.
Insomnia, that was the first time he was working with a big company and big actors, and it was like, "Okay, this dude can, handle this," and then he
Yeah,
got the keys to the kingdom.
yeah,
'Cause that
yeah.
was
And that
Warner
was
Brothers
after
as well.
Memento, which
Yeah,
I always forget. I always think it's following then Insomnia, but it's not.
yeah, I
Memento
do
was
as well.
beforehand.
Yeah.
But
Speaking of Nolan,
yeah,
obviously, me and you will be doing
yes,
our big Nolan special, which is going to be a long episode, but a fantastic one because
gonna be great. I'm rewatching Memento this week because I am on the greatest movie of all time podcast recording this weekend, talking about Memento.
that's a perfect
Uh,
segue. 'Cause I
yeah.
was just about to ask you what you've got
Yep.
coming up, so
That's I've got that coming up, and then various things over at Revisionist Almanac coming up.
go and watch the
And
Christian Bale Mount Rushmore.
yes,
That
well,
was
yes, we've done our Christian Bale Mount
and then
Rushmore. That was easy. We have a Ryan Gosling one coming up, which is chaos.
I don't envy Andrew because that man will be having a breakdown trying to pick 4.
We have recorded it already,
Lovely.
and if you think the Christian Bale one was extremely diplomatic, harmonious, we all agreed on 3, and Andrew had the one that Amanda and I agreed on as the 4th one as his number 5, and he's like, "You know what? It's fine, you're
Yeah.
right."
I'm so happy.
That
I
was
love the Prestige,
that's
so
one example, and then the Ryan
yeah.
Gosling one just descends into pure chaos,
It's
and
Andrew's 4 and Andrew's 4 only.
no, actually, and the funny thing is no, I don't wanna say too much, but we do yeah, this it's quite funny, like, he specifically told Amanda and I to watch certain films because
The nice
we had a
guys.
few blind spots. We watched them, ended up nominating them, and then he didn't even put them on his list. And we're like, "What? Why? What are you doing? Why did you tell us to watch this then?" So
This is
it
the
just descends
problem.
into pure chaos. So
Andrew, I know you'll be
that's coming
listening
up.
to this. This is the problem when you watch too many films. Your
Yes,
mind scrambles and you're like, "Oh, watch this film," and then you forgot you've told them to watch it in case they might like it.
in case they
Yeah,
might like it. Yeah, I still
yeah.
haven't seen The Nice Guys though, so there
Oh,
we go.
it's so good. It's so good. But yeah,
I watched Half Nelson
okay,
and Drive as prep.
solid.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gosling's filmography is sneaky good.
It is actually is
Uh,
really,
and
yeah.
I was lucky enough to see Project Hail Mary in the preview weekend. Incredible.
Yeah, I'm seeing that hopefully tomorrow.
I am
Mm,
Oscar campaigning him already, so
stop it. We just got
nope.
past this lot.
I'm Oscar campaigning. Nope. This is the one where it's like, okay, please acknowledge please. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. It's very early. It's very
It,
early. We've just finished the Oscars now.
I know that, but like Sinner come
June.
out. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, so
Mm.
we're already there. We're already there, Heather.
Everything Everywhere came out in March as well. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it
Project
can
Hail
be done.
Mary is incredible. So
Yes, I'm sure it's great.
yeah,
I think I'm going to go and see it tomorrow.
if you don't
If
like
I
it,
can.
don't tell me.
No, I think I will like it. I like The Martian. It's just the kind
Uh,
of by the same
it's so
author
good.
and the same director, so I should be fine. No, not the same
It.
director. The director
Uh,
was Ridley Scott. Sorry,
yeah,
same
same.
author, same writers. Yeah, yeah,
Yes, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It's really, really good. But as for me, I will be doing no doubt more list videos, and Hall of Film voting will be coming back as well
Yes,
because
good.
all the Oscars and awards season stuff is now behind us. So
Yeah, and
We
we've
can
got
get
more
back
people
onto
to
that.
consider putting in now.
We've got more films that I mean, the films from this year, there could be a couple popping up in the modern for sure. If Ryan Coogler gets in, that's a podcast that will be coming very quickly.
Mm. PTA's in already though, isn't he? Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, he's just got another film that'll be probably getting in as well, so I
Mm,
won't be surprised if there's a 10 of
I
just
wouldn't.
2025 in the modern.
Yeah. Yeah. Recency bias. Mhm.
Yes, yeah. I still think Park Chan-wook is not in, so please sort that out, people.
Get over to
Um,
get Park Chan-wook in. He's
there's
a
a lot. I know
master.
Cinemillennials podcast, they are still annoyed that there is, like, that Ridley Scott is still not in the Hall of Film, which is not for modern, but in the new Hollywood, put him in just because of Blade Runner. But, you know, we'll see what happens because,
Alien.
yeah, yeah, you would have thought he'd be in, but he's not. So, but Gladiator is, and we already did a podcast on that. So, yeah, keep an eye out for all of the content that will be coming up, and obviously check Heather out on all of the socials, and also keep an eye out on her appearances on other podcasts and the Revisionist Almanac as well. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you all in the next one.